Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Uh, it's back again for another trading update. We're going to take a look at the markets and just run through everything. Let's just start with BTC, the big one. So as expected, we had a bit of a pullback, or we are having a bit of a pullback. It's actually a bit of a flattening out. You know, on the hourly chart, it looks pretty good. So like that looks really nice. Looks like we're about to have a dip. We'll come down. We touch the 21 EMA. I mean, we could on the 12-hour come down and touch the 8-hour. So could really have a dip down to the 6,600 area. Totally fine. As long as we're not closing below 6,500, I'm not worried at all. We're still in this kind of up move, even if it is a small one. You know, this is this kind of previous resistance area that we've broken through. So we will see how we get through here. I'm pretty optimistic at this point. So yeah, the trades are going fine. Let's come down to the hourly. You know, right now, I checked out last night and things are doing really well. So I was in it. Let's just go to 6,400. So right now, it's at a 5% gain, which if you're leveraged 20 times or something, 10 times, about 50% move, which is pretty good. About 100 to the downside. So it's really nice. Yeah, nothing really to say here except it's going to be the weekend. The volume's dropped off a little bit, and yeah, not much to expect. I'm really just waiting for Monday or for the continuation of the up move, which I think will, you know, you can bounce around between the 6,650 area and then also the 6,800 where we were the other day. So it's a nice little range. Yeah, let's take a look at Ripple. Ripple's the one. Wow, that's a buy. I should have bought when I was down here. I think Ripples are really looking positive at the moment. 12-hour, yeah, green candles again. That's a buy. Actually, I may go and trade on there. So I would be looking for on the hourly, maybe it to come down a little bit more. Like if you could catch it at 50 again, like if we get another shot down, if that actually does happen, to 50, I think that would be really great. It looks really bullish though. You know, we're back up in positive territory again, especially on the 12-hour chart. It looks great. This is definitely we're going to touch all those highs again at some point. So definitely one to keep a look on. Same thing for the BTC. Wow, it looks great. That's really nice. So on Cardano, which was the trade of the day a few days ago, still in it. It's, you know, had a bit of a pullback. We're still above the 12-hour, right? So let's take a look. So we came down and we touched the 888 period EMA, which we bounced off of, which is a good sign. You know, as long as we stay above this 12-hour EMA, we should be very nice for the long run. So seeing how this one continues, we did not hit the 1400 sats mark. The top of the move was about 1340. Now it's at 1240. So yeah, I think this is still looking pretty good. I would just, again, I'm holding the course. Just waiting for it to develop. I've got the 12 EMA or 21 EMA on the 12 hourly, and just gonna let that go. The same thing for Tron, right? Tron had an even bigger move. I think I had it up to it did not break out the new highs on, or at least break that channel that was formed. So now we kind of have this larger channel which we need to break out of. We'll see how that goes. See how the next few days, but been a significant sell-off, down from almost 400 to 342 now, which is all right. Still waiting. You know, as long as we don't go below this 320 level, or what is it? Yeah, 320. As long as we don't go below 320, I'm more than fine with everything. It's looking pretty good. It's just a healthy rebound. And yeah, so just keeping an eye on that. Hopefully it comes down. We touch off the 8-period EMA at 335, and then we continue up, which I think is what is going to happen. Again, with BTC, again, let me draw some forecast. Can we do bar pattern? Yeah, I think this is it. No, it's not it. I think is it ghost feed? Yeah, so we're gonna come down here, and then I think that we continue up like that. And the one to watch will be whether it can break through this 7,400 area. So if it can break through here, if not, then it'll come off like that. Some big candles down. Possibly through here. So I'm just going to leave this here for now. And we'll see how my prediction goes. That's kind of the trajectory of the trade that I have in mind at the moment. If it pushing up to around the 7,000 area, 7,200. If it breaks through, I mean, I would see that it could go to. I could definitely see it testing that 88,000 area, but something like that. But we'll see. We'll see how that goes. Because I mean, again, these last two sell-offs have been pretty quick, and you know, we would need to break out for this to have any validity. So we'll see this here. Yeah. Got my morning coffee today. A little bit less tired than yesterday. I'm trying to do these things first thing. Oh wow, look at Enigma. Wow, look at that candle. It's a really nice candle for Enigma. Pushed above the 20. I'm going to turn off the EMA. All right, so Enigma's pushed up above the 21 EMA. That is a definite. As long as it closes above this 8,980 area, I think it would definitely be a buy. It'll be something to keep an eye on. I don't think there's going to be any new trades today because everything's already in play. You know, this ETH, again, as long as it stays above 220, it's still in it. It doesn't look like we've hit the top of the channel yet. It fired off yesterday, but only one bar of firing. It's kind of strange. So it seems that, you know, we could be hitting the top. We actually touched the resistance area yesterday at 257. I would be interested to see what's going to happen with ETH because it's been pretty weak compared to everything else recently. Now EOS is looking good as well too. Broke through, had a bit of a pullback from 6.1 down to 5.9. Yeah, looks fine. So I think GoChain looks like GoChain. It's nothing really new. I mean, this is a continuation pattern from what there was before. I think right now, if you weren't in any trades that before, so if you're looking to get into Tron, like now would be the time. You know, you could look for this 4-hour try for like 333. If it comes down and touches here, like anytime it touches the 21 EMA on either the 4 or the 6 hour, it would definitely be a buy. As this kind of works off its oversold condition and kind of flattens out a bit as it grows. So if you miss the move, now would be the time to either be increasing your portfolio size, on chain, or just building the positions in. Because especially for XRP, especially for Ripple, I think that if we can come down to this 50 area again, it's a definite buy. Looking very good on that. Same thing for BTC. BTC can come down to this kind of 6650 area. That's the reload. I would definitely be looking to reload there. So yeah, I'm gonna switch over to what can I use? So some people had some questions about types of orders, and I wonder if I have Thinkorswim on here. I do. So I'm going to use Thinkorswim for this because they have a trade simulator. They actually have paper trading, and they have much more order types than a lot of the crypto pairs. So I can walk through placing an order once it loads up. Let's get my password. No. Yeah. So I've signed up for Thinkorswim, but I don't have any funds there. I've just been using it for paper trading because it's a good practice platform. At the moment, everything is in other assets. It's going to take a little while. To go. So I think the question was like how to set up your orders, right? So as always, it's always best to use limit orders. Market orders, at least in the crypto sector, taker fees are usually always higher than the maker fees, which means that as the taker, you pay significant amounts to enter into a trade, while the maker doesn't. You know what? Let's not do this. I can just draw this. Here we go. Sketchpad. This will work. Okay, so let's get some star text clip art. Is it vector fill? No. Calligraphy. Okay. So typically, we have our order book. Let's just draw our order book over here. So here we have the asks. What's this? Okay. So we have our order book. Yeah. So here we have our bids. And here we have our asks. Or sorry, these are the bids, these are the asks, right? So when making can I go back to transparent? How do I do this? Okay, so when you make an order, right? So these are the different levels. So let's say this is our main level, and then we have all these other levels, right? And that's where the order book gets filled up. So just like this. So when you make an order, right, you can either be the maker who fills up the bids, or you can be the taker, or you can fill the bid or the asks by being the maker, or you could be the taker, which is somebody that actually reaches out and takes it. So um, it's in the sense of the maker essentially stands up with a sign that says, I have an orange for sale, and I'm going to sell this orange for a dollar. $1.10. Let's say fair market value is $1, right? But you get up and you say, I'm going to sell this for $1.10. Now, somebody may not actually buy that orange from you. Let's say this is grapefruit. Buy that grapefruit from you immediately. So you can stand there with your bid for quite a while. But at some point, all the $1 grapefruits are going to be sold. And then the person will come to you and say, hey, I want your $1.10 grapefruit. I'm willing to pay a higher price because I can't get dollar grapefruits anymore. At this point, you go, okay, here you go. And you give your grapefruit, and then they give you $1. So that's roughly the maker and taker analogy, but with the grapefruit. If you make the market, you stand there with your grapefruit and say, I have something for sale. If you become the taker, then you actually you give money, or you give something for the grapefruit, right? And then you take it from them. So usually the fees in the crypto space are paid towards the taker, as they are the person who completes the action, right? And it's more important really to have bigger books, to have the bid and the asks filled out more. It's always better to have more liquidity in the order books. This is why that you'll see on BitMEX they actually pay the makers, because it's a valuable service. So when you're doing an order, right, you have your limit. Doing this on the trackpad, so it's a little bit difficult. Limit. Okay, limit order is saying you become one of the makers, right? So limit order places your bid like here. Let's say this is 7,000, or you just get 7,000 or 700, right? You would place your bid at 699. Okay, and then you would place a limit buy order here at 699. And that limit buy order would stay until you cancel it. And it would join all the other limit buy orders at 699. Now, once you're filled, in order for this to be bought, right, the taker has to come down and they actually have to take the bid. And that happens when the market moves back and forth. There's makers and takers on both sides, both for the bid and the ask. This is the bid. Bid. And bid. And this is the ask. And you can see these. So a handy little way to see the bid and the ask, right, is to go to this thing called Tensor Charts. So it used to be free, but it's not now. What they have at Tensor Charts is they have the heat map. So the heat map looks at the order book, right, and it tells you where the bid and the asks are. So we're just going to zoom out a little bit. Okay? And here we can see that there's a lot of orders at this kind of 66.15 level, and then there's a lot of orders up at this 69.100 level. So in well-functioning markets, price usually tends towards liquidity. And I don't want to get into that too much now, but it's just something to keep in mind. So let's go back to our sketchpad, right? So you place your limit bid, okay? The price comes down from 700 to 699. You get filled, right? Now you have you own one grapefruit that you bought for $699. Now, a prudent and conservative investor would say, okay, I want to have a stop. Okay, and the way that stops work is that you place a stop underneath to limit the downside. So at 690, you say, I don't want to own grapefruit that is worth less than $690. Okay, so I'm going to put a stop here, and the stop can be two parts, right? So one, it can be a market stop, right? So the market order just goes out and executes into the nearest offer there is, whether it's far away or near, right? So you don't actually get to choose the price that you want. So when it hits the stop, it instantly executes that market order. So that's the first type. That's the stop market. You also have a stop limit as well too. So the stop limit sets, okay, so I'm going to have my stop at 690. But then, so if I bought this thing, right, I need to sell it. So if I hit my stop at 690, I need the price to come back to 691, right? And I can set my sell order here. So it's kind of like this like logic process where if you buy, right, but if you go lower than this price, it kicks in your sell order. So when the price does come back up, it sells in, your order is sold into that, and you're actually taken out. So this is good and bad in that the stop limit saves you a lot on the fees. However, it really is not good for like fast moving markets. So sometimes, let's say there's a bit of a dip, right, and it goes from 700 to 690. Your stop is hit, and in most other cases, in slow moving markets, it just goes down like this, right? So it's kind of like this in choppy markets, right? So in this case, when it goes back and forth, right, having the stop limit is actually pretty good because it'll just come down, it'll come back up, you'll get stopped out, and you'll keep your fees quite low. But sometimes you'll get markets that just like fall off cliff, right? And then they don't actually hit the stop limits. So you'll set your stop for here, your stop limit for here, or sorry, your stop here, your stop limit above, or your limit order above. It comes crashing down through, and you don't actually get filled. Now you are at 500, right, for that grapefruit, and you don't actually want it anymore. And you never actually had a chance to sell it. So it's a bit riskier because you're hoping that you get filled. I've not had this problem before. Usually the markets that I'm trading in are relatively choppy, but it's just something to keep in mind that you can't get caught out. So there's also, so I typically use these limit stop limits like at the beginning of a trade. So when I go into a trade and I have a predetermined downside, right, I'll set it up and then I'll just let it go. And if the price starts to move away from my stop limit, I may just cancel it because I want to move it up. We'll get into that later on. But as the price moves up, if your stop limit is down here, and all of a sudden the price moves up here, maybe you want to move your stops up here, right? Or maybe you're following something like a trend line, right? So as this EMA, sorry, not a trend line, as this EMA comes up, right, so does your stops, and so you have to mentally adjust them to keep track of them, to keep an idea on them. BTC is definitely coming down to its 12-hour. It's a really nice short. So again, it's 66.50. This should be the bounce area. This would be a nice buy level right here at 66.50. Let's take a look at the 1 hour. Yeah, this is a nice area. I wonder if it bounces here. You start forming a channel. If it does, it's pretty bullish. If it doesn't, you'd be a bit worried. It just depends on how far it's going to come down. It is a bit worrying, right? Because the long ratio has gotten quite high. You think we could blow through that. The short ratio is actually going way down. Shorts have come way off, which I guess shows that we have a bit of upside, but we'll see how far we go. Oh, looks like the bounce is 66.70. All right, so take a look at the 5-minute chart. Whoa. Ooh. Ooh. Because good bad. All right. Oh no, we haven't bounced yet. Or did we? Sorry, it's hard to see with the volume chart. Oh, we did. Okay, so we'll probably test this 66.50 area again. It's probably a nice buy right here to re-enter into the positions. So again, 66.50 with a stop at 6,500 or even 65.50 would make a really nice entry, because look, you have the previous. Yeah, look at that. It's going to bounce, I think, at least, but something to keep in mind. Let's take a look at the volume profile. Oh yeah, that's a really nice look. We have an even auction here, and then we're also at the bottom of this value area for the top of the move. So right here would actually be a really nice buy to take it up to. I mean, for a short-term trade, take it up to 67, 68. It's really nice. That's very nice. I bet everything else is getting hammered. Yeah, look at this. This is Tron is a buy down at these levels. So is Cardano. Yeah, Cardano's getting hit. Wow. But again, you know, it may look bad on a 5-minute chart, but on the 12-hour chart, it's not so bad. Not so bad at all. There's actually quite a lot to come down, so yeah, looks fine. All right, it's going to wrap it up for today. If you have any questions about the order types, I can do some more talking about that. Just leave some comments, and I'll be back tomorrow. Thanks.